We have all enjoyed the Country Roads Trust for a few years now, and they've done an incredible job supporting the athletes at West Virginia. But it's in big trouble, and I don't know where their place is going forward.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia, baby. Let's talk sports, man. I have had one hell of a day, a hellacious start to my morning today with one of the most severe panic attacks I've ever experienced, to the point where I had to call my family to come get me and just let me be with them for several hours today. It was really bad. I don't know why they're happening, guys. So I'm not going to quit doing this, obviously. I just needed to get my bearings and rest a little bit and stuff. So anyway, if I start to have one, just please be patient. I don't think I will. I have the right mindset. They just happen every now and then. So unfortunate. But this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by none other than Monarch Money. If you want to take control of your finances now with Monarch Money, head over to monarchmoney.com for 50% off your very first year and use code LOCKEDONCollege. On today's episode, we're going to talk about Country Roads Trust and its place now that the House bill has been passed. What happens to Country Roads Trust? A place that we've all been, at least as far as I'm concerned, very grateful for. And their place, not only in the history of our school, because it's a wild time, but also just, they've helped us achieve some pretty cool things. That Bob Huggins class was really great, and unfortunately didn't get to see that to fruition. I think they've helped us remain competitive in NIL, and they've done a lot. They did a lot of heavy lifting with not as much support as some other places have, and had to get really creative. So just want to always be thankful to Stephen Ford, Wren Baker, and Chase Harler. I mentioned him on another but Chase Harler worked there for a long time. Amanda Maisie worked there for a long time, and other people as well. They've done a good job over there over the years, but we're in a different time now, which is what I'm about to get into. If you're not familiar with what recently just happened as of yesterday, I talked about it on last night's show. The House versus NCAA changed everything. It really did. Schools can now directly negotiate NIL deals with student athletes. So think endorsements, brand promotions, all that stuff, up to $20.5 million with that cap, and it hits that every single year. And West Virginia's jumped in head first here. So on Friday, the Board of Governors finalized that deal with Gold and Blue Inc., right, which is a brand new nonprofit, which is going to be run by Wren Baker and the new president after Gordon Gee steps down. It's not a side hustle, man. This is WVU saying we're taking control of NIL from Country Roads Trust, right? They can now cut deals with current players. They can offer written NIL contracts, capital C, to high school seniors starting August 1st. And, I mean, they can talk to kids in the transfer portal the second they enter. That's their recruiting game now, right? That's what it is, basically. It's just a different form of recruiting. To pay for this, we talked about this yesterday as well. West Virginia is going to, unfortunately, the students are going to get taxed $125 per semester, $250 a year, which will help generate an extra $6 million or $6.5 million per year, which is what is it? Right about a third, close to a third, just below a third of that $20.5 million pot. That all sounds shiny and ambitious, but West Virginia's out here playing chess, trying to keep up with the Alabamas and Ohio States. But where it gets messy is this House move is going to squeeze out Country Roads Trust for the most part. I do think they'll stay active. I don't know how active, but I mean, listen, they've been heading up this entire deal since 2021 when it was really the Wild West. So, I had heard some things that were being talked about on the message boards around. We all know that. And so I reached out to a few people. I've had Stephen Ford on this show a few times over the years. I think he's an incredible human. I really do. I really like Stephen a lot. He has done a very good job heading up Country Roads Trust. Truthfully, he has. I don't think he gets enough credit because he's kind of a behind the scenes person. He's been the general manager and CEO of the Country Roads Trust since it began through now. And so I just hope that Stephen keeps his job. I don't know. He didn't answer me today. Maybe he doesn't want to talk about it. But I tried to reach out to him and say, hey, I won't even do the episode, man, if it's going to make anything worse, because that's not my goal here. But he didn't respond. Maybe he doesn't want to or can't. I don't know. But, it just sucks in a way, because I think Country Roads Trust, it was cool. I think they did some good things for us. I think they had good people working there. I think they tried their very best to make this thing work. And now we're in a different time. And I just wanted to get on here and talk about it, because I do think they're probably on life support. And, talking to some people, they don't have a lot of staff now. They never were a huge staff, by the way, but they had more than they have now. So in the past, so I don't know. It's just one of those things that it's a byproduct of this new world we're living in now. So what does that mean, though? Is the Gold and Blue Ink going to be the new sheriff in town? It's going to handle every deal, making, and to make sure they're in compliance with the NCAA's rules? Or will a collective like Country Roads Trust, which is basically built for a time when schools couldn't touch NIL directly? As a matter of fact, if you'll remember in the early days, coaches weren't even allowed to talk to the people in NIL collectives about the money. So it was like the coach had to offer the player, and then they negotiated with the collective. The coach had no input on how much the player should be paid. Kind of ridiculous. It really, when you think about it, how stupid it is. And we all know the NCAA completely ruined the sport. We get it. So I don't know, but I guess the way this was put to me, Country Roads Trust is kind of like Blockbuster now, and now we're in the age of Netflix, as it is with this era of NIL. Collectives are kind of like Blockbuster, and this new era of it is like Netflix, right? So Country Roads Trust can still exist, and I think it could scrape by, definitely chasing smaller deals, working with boosters and that kind of stuff. But with West Virginia centralizing everything, and Rich Rod is going to have his own strategy for NIL for sure, I think the writing's on the wall here, man. And I hate to say it. It's not just a business shift. It's literally a cultural one. So, and collectives were messy. I mean, you got boosters throwing cash, deals going all over the place. You've got a car wash popping up to support this. And, you name it, it's happening, or it has happened. But I felt like our Country Roads Trust people really tried to do things by the book as best as they could. I really do. And they were part of the chaos that really made NIL kind of exciting in some ways. And, that was our chaos and our way of keeping up in this pay-to-play world. And now it's being replaced by a corporate in-house machine, in my opinion. So while that might make West Virginia more competitive long-term, it's just hard to watch something that's defined our NIL era just get pushed aside after all the work they've done, and not to kind of get to finish the job. I don't know. It just bothers me, maybe because I got to know people over there. I know things got to change. It just sucks for me. So let's talk numbers really quick. So the 20.5 million benefits cap, any money Country Roads Trust pays to players still counts towards it. So if Country Roads Trust is cutting checks, it's going to eat into West Virginia's budget, from what I understand. So I don't know why Wren Baker would let that happen if he's using Gold and Blue Ink. I need clarification on that. Somebody tell me if that's true, because I was under the impression that these trusts were separate and the budget wouldn't cut into, or that wouldn't cut into the budget. But from the research I did today, I found out some different things. So I don't know how clear this all is. I'm going to ask around a little bit more about it. But from what I understand, if Country Roads Trust does something, then I think it still counts towards the budget. But I'll get back to you on that. I don't know. That's in my notes here, but I don't know for sure if that's right, actually. So we're going to move past that. We're going to move past that. I don't know exactly how that ended up in there. I don't know, because I wouldn't have put it in there if I didn't. I don't know. I had to go back. It's such a broad. It's a lot to get in your head and get to know at once. But at the end of the day, like I said, this hurts because I like those people over there, and I know it's smart. The move-in house, you got to do it. It's strategic. I think it'll help us recruit better, keep talent longer, and maybe we'll be able to land some 4-star kids and stuff now that we've been dreaming about for a few years, because progress doesn't mean we forget the people who got us here. So I just, I think Country Roads Trust has done a great job, and they deserve any credit up until now for sure. So where do we go from here? I mean, obviously West Virginia is going to be betting big on Gold and Blue Ink, and if it works, we could see the Mountaineers climb into the ranks in the NIL era for sure. But as fans, like I said, let's not forget what Country Roads Trust did for us. They held it down when it was a free-for-all, and they helped get West Virginia in the game and keep us in the game. It wasn't their fault that maybe the powers that be didn't pick better players or the right players for their system, however you want to put it. So hopefully Country Road Trust continues to find a niche. Maybe it doesn't, but either way, let's show them some love to the people that made it happen, man. You know what I mean? Let's go to break really quick. On the other side, we got some visitors on campus that were pretty big name kids, 4-star players. We'll talk about them. And I got my workout warriors for you. I told you guys, I've been asking around, talked to a few people today. By the way, this is not an exaggeration. Literally, not even exaggerating 1%. Every single player that I've spoken to says this is the hardest workout they've ever done. So, and we got all walks of life. We've got UTSA, we've got Tennessee, we've got Utah, we've got everywhere. We've got Texas. People all across I'm not getting any details. I'm not going to give any details about anything going on, but I can say that the workouts are absolutely crushing dudes right now. We're going to talk about our workout warriors and who is killing it on the conditioning / weight room / whatever kind of drills you want to say they do side of things. It's pretty damn cool. We'll talk about that next. And those visitors, stick around. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by Monarch Money. And if you've ever checked your bank account like me and wondered, where did all my money go between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. And that's where Monarch Money is going to come in for you, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. It's not just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center where you can track your accounts, investments, and spending in one easy, convenient place so you can stop managing money and start building wealth. If you want surprising insights, I've got one for you. When I started using Monarch Money, I realized just how much I was spending on food delivery. That includes like Instacart. That includes like DoorDash or Uber Eats. I was probably spending anywhere from $50 to $80 a day for the first couple of months I had the Locked On job. It was so much, thousands of dollars a month went in food, and that was just eating once a day. You order DoorDash one time, it's like $50. It's crazy, man. So obviously I had to learn how to budget smarter and save more. Monarch Money was the thing for me. If you want to take control of your finances like me, and with Monarch Money, and use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first deal. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your very first year. It's segment 2. Let's crack this do and talk about some things. So I know it's against all the advice in the world. I knew it. I probably shouldn't be drinking that. I get it, 100%. All right. We got Talkers Pit in the chat. What's up, brother? What's up, Dylan? Big nothing. What's up, guys? Appreciate y'all for being here. So West Virginia's got some pretty big visitors on campus right now. And look, I'll be honest, they're good players. And actually, I don't know if they're still here or not. They just came on visit. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at some highlights here from a couple kids that West Virginia has had visit over the last couple of days. So let me exit out of this. Get over here to this. I'm going to have to wait for this ad to play. So give me just a second. Apparently me exiting out and me going back into it, and ad played again. It's fairly annoying stuff, but it happens. All right, so we'll get over there now. So Antoine Higgins, 4-star player, guys. He's very good. Edge rusher, not graded as a 90, a 92 on a composite, 6'3", 215 out of Cincinnati, Ohio, and Anderson School. This kid is an absolute freak of nature with the capital F. So check him out here. Coming off the edge. Bulldozes the running back to get to the quarterback. And this kid isn't even anywhere close to grown into his body yet. Here he is on the edge again, sheds a block and gets to the back. Nicely done there as well. But, I mean, he's literally screams off the edge. When he comes off the edge, he comes off the edge. What a heady play for a sophomore there. Get out in the passing lane, make an interception. He's one of those kids that he's the world of talent. He's literally got everything you would possibly need. He really does. Coming off the edge, he's got great get off. He's got great speed. He's got, as you can see, watch him outrun everybody on the team down the field here. Boom. So here he is off the edge here, as you can see, and there it is again, another heady play. So you got to have that, a kid that watches the quarterback's eyes. But I mean, when he gets his hands on people, he just dominates the hell out of them. So love watching this kid play. He's got a chance to be as good as he wants to be. He's got NFL potential, for sure. You can see that already earlier on in his career. As you can see there, I mean, he's got great agility as well. But I mean, just overall, this kid is got such great athletic ability and a chance to be. He could bump this thing up another star if he continues to progress at the rate he's at as a pass rusher. He's just, and he plays it all. He plays the run, he plays the pass, he does a little bit of everything. And just think about that. This is a sophomore. Definitely he's got Arkansas, Auburn, Cincinnati, Duke, Georgia Tech, West Virginia, all kinds of people looking at this kid. So West Virginia got a shot in this. I don't know how big of a shot, but definitely he likes West Virginia. I do know that much. So let's get over here to this kid. We got another one moving on in this thing, guys. We're going to be looking at Ace Austin here, who is a 5'11", 165-pound corner for class. Both of these guys are 2027, by the way. This kid right here in the composite is right there on a 5-star line. He almost 5 stars composite. They got him rated as a 4-star, 4 stars, 15th quarterback nationally, second ranked in Ohio, 117th overall player in the country, and it shows on tape. This kid can really, really go. Not only can he run, but he's just a physical. We've had a network error here. What the heck happened? Okay, well, we'll just have to refresh that really quick. Sorry, guys. Don't know what happened. Can you guys see? Okay, good. I was making sure the internet didn't go out there. All right, so Aria's on a pick 6 to start. Not a bad start, for sure. And I'll tell you in just a second where this kid's from. 4:30 left in the game, down by 7, it says. I'm guessing he's on. This is all big snowball here. That's kind of where it's fun to play in, especially when you're younger. Here he is out here, I think. Nope, he's in the middle of the field. Sorry. Looks like he made the play to win the game. I didn't actually see what happened there. Apologies. So, okay. Interception to win the game or win the game. Nicely done. Gets his team the ball back. He was about to go down 14. Here he is right here. Yeah, this kid, uber athletic too. I mean, look at the closing speed through a receiver, blocking and drives the ball carrier back a ton. Um, yeah, this kid's got a lot of potential. We know there's a reason he's rated so highly. The fluidity, the speed, all that. We love it. And probably going to grow a little bit more. Here he is again, playing way off these guys, by the way. He really trusts his athletic ability. There he is again in the right place at the right time. Interception. Nicely done. And we've got him here again. 3rd and 9. He gets on his back pedal. And yeah, so nice play there too to first basically made that play for his teammate. You look at him here he is again. He'll probably catch the back right of the backfield, and he does. And whoa, what a play by him. Wow. Now that's impressive. I mean, his job was he was really caught in between here. You got the backer coming in or the receiver coming in motion out of the backfield, and he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. You've got this guy crossing your face right here, and you got the backer right here. How do you play both at the same time? Well, he does just that. He baits the quarterback. He takes a step towards the player out of the backfield. The quarterback takes the bait, and as he winds up to throw it, he changes mid-motion to catch this kid coming out of the back pylon and makes one spectacular play on the ball. Wow, let's watch that in full all once again. In motion, he's supposed to take him. He takes a step towards him, baits the quarterback and back, and tips the ball with a super athletic play. Those are the kind of plays that get people or ears pricked up. Here he's in press man coverage. Press man coverage. He's up in this kid's grill for sure. Oh yeah, he's eating him alive. Oh gosh. Ate him alive out there. Yeah. And you can see, like, most great corners have long arms. It's just a trait that corners, you need corners to have. Obviously, corners are all going, what do? They poke at the ball, they swipe at the ball, they get interceptions. Arms are literally one of the least talked about things for corners that are so extremely important. I mean, his arms just they're going near touch his ankles. They're so long, which is a good thing. So this is a player West Virginia also looking at that's been in. So as you can see, Nebraska, Tennessee, looks like South Florida. Looks like he's kind of risen. He went from Southern Miss. Wow. So Sam Huff trying to get him, or Sam Huff, whoever it is, though, that was at Marshall. So 5'11", 165. He's also out of Anderson. They're in Cincinnati. So 2 teammates on the same team. Like we say, I tell you guys all the time, Ohio puts out elite talent year after year. So, yeah, this is a kid West Virginia would love to have as well. I haven't had a chance to interview these players, so I don't know what they said about West Virginia, but both Antoine Higgins and Ace Alston are 2 players to watch going forward for West Virginia. Absolutely. We'll take that every day of the week. All right. I told you guys I would do my Workout Warriors segment. We'll talk about that next. Who are the West Virginia players that their teammates around them? And I spoke to about 20 people the last day and a half about this. I gave you a couple guys yesterday that were on the fringes. Let's give you the real stuff. We'll do that next. The Workout Warriors for West Virginia's summer sessions so far. Let's share some screen really quick first. So one of the guys I've heard so much about, found a picture actually for him. And I have heard a lot about Devin Grant. I really haven't. Look at this freaking nature right here. I mean, this kid right here, not a kid, he's a grown man. But I mean, just look at him. beside Eddie V, Ben Bogle. Is that Ben Bogle? I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. It looks like this is the defensive. Oh no, that's Adam Tomchek. That's Adam Tomchek right there. So that's Eddie B, Devin Gratt, Adam Tomchek. I'm guessing that's probably Carter Zuliani, and some other guys here. So defensive line group, baby. This is the group that Zach Alley said in the interview the other day to watch out for. To watch out for. Well, Devin Grant is a name that I've heard so much about from like 5 different people. They said he's put a massive weight, and can really, really run. And so I want to come back to this because I want to rewatch a couple of his clips just to give you guys an idea of how well he moves for a guy that big. I mean, he looks absolutely enormous. All right, so we'll come back to that. Another guy that I've heard a lot about, and this is not, I mean, I don't guess it's that big of a surprise, but if I can get to it here, Nico Marchiol told he has absolutely changed his body, changed his total body in this offseason. So Nico Marchiol apparently making impressions on people, which is great to see. Could he turn into a Tim Tebow? Wouldn't that be something? The best case scenario for West Virginia football is for for Nico Marchiol to be the player we all thought he was going to be coming out for the next 2 years. Can you imagine? He has a really good year this year, like a Geno 2011, and then he has a Geno 2012 type year the next year, or a Will Greer type year. Like, gosh, man, it'd be so awesome. I don't think it's going to it's not going to look the same as with those guys because of our offense, we run it too much. I mean, but even if he could pass it as well as those guys, I don't know if we would run it, if we would pass it as much. But yeah, so Nico Marchiol's name's come up a few times today specifically. So I love hearing that, I didn't get much for Jalen Henderson here from anybody. I asked a few people. They said he's been kind of quiet to himself. So doesn't mean he's not working hard. Doesn't mean he don't have a shot at the job or anything like that. But that's just what I heard. And let's keep in mind, I'm not talking to everybody either. It's impossible for me to. I mean, I can't get a hold of everybody. It's just not, not everybody answers. So, all right. So that's one. And then another guy that keeps coming up, and this is like probably the second most. And you guys know, like, I'm working against myself in some respects here, but I'm always going to be honest. Rodney Gallagher is a name that has come up to me a few times over the last really couple weeks, saying he just absolutely killing himself to try to get better. I think he feels pressure. I really do. I think he feels disrespected by me, for number one, because I picked kids that just came in over him to win jobs. But at number two, he was supposed to be, I mean, he was a 4-star player. And there wasn't even a debate when he came to West Virginia. Rodney Gallagher was supposed to be great. He has not been great. Matter of fact, he's been very mediocre, right? Some people would say that's Neil Brown's fault. We're going to find out. I think there's a great chance it could be Neil Brown's fault, but we have to make sure. I'm rooting like hell for Rodney Gallagher. Just because I picked a guy to win a job over him doesn't mean not even 1% that I want him to not be good. I want him to be amazing. I'll eat my words all day long to the end of eternity if our players are good. I don't give a shit. Like, I want these kids to win, man. I want this kid that loves West Virginia to win. That's what matters to me. So, Rodney Gallagher, I was so happy to hear his name today by a few different people. Just the way this works. And I'll tell you, like, the process and how this works. So I'll get a hold of somebody. Let me get that off there. I can't believe that's on there. So a lot of times what I'll do is, I'll get a hold of people however I do, whether that's through, on X. I already have a bunch of their numbers. Almost all of our incoming transfers, I've got their numbers. At least 3/4. So, I've got that base to work with. No, not everybody always answers, but some guys it takes a day to answer. So I just compile the information when I can get it. And then when I feel like I have enough for a segment, I'll do it, basically. But I'll ask guys like, hey, I'm not asking about anything specific. I just want to know like how guys are doing. So I'll start throwing names out there and trying to fish for, well, what about this guy? Well, what about this guy? Have you heard anything about this guy? Or they'll offer up information. And that's just kind of how I compile it. So just in case one of you guys were like, how's this coming about? It's literally me saying, hey, I got a question. It's not like they're just offering it up in conversation. Like it's me fishing. So I don't know if you take a point away from that or not, but like I'm trying to. First of all, it's me. I'm obsessive over this, as you guys know. There's a reason I do this show anyway, and I'm obsessive about these players in general. So I'm always looking to see who's taking a step, and trying to always compile that next bit of information to see how good we could possibly be. So Rodney Gallagher, though, that's a name that I was really excited to hear. Another name I heard a lot of was this one here, where's he at? Fred Perry. So Fred Perry's gotten a lot of love here, and is not surprising, but I mean, just look at that number 5. Wouldn't you love to see that number 5 just cracking skulls? Oh man, would love to see that happen. And so, and this is a guy, man. I mean, if you haven't seen Fred Perry, just enjoy this for yourself really quick. Fred, he's one of those guys. He's a tone setter in your defense. He is going to lay wood to people like that right there. I mean, look at that hit. That's illegal for sure, but he's going to lay the wood to somebody, man. Bam! He's going to kill somebody. And a tone setter at that. I can't watch that. But anyways, Fred Perry, man, a guy that I was told he just works extremely hard, extremely intense. His tape is his tape. It's very good. We know that. But as far as like conditioning, workouts, and all that, they said he's been putting himself through it here. So I was really glad to hear that. So congratulations to him. Hopefully he turns into what we think he could turn into as well. Because I think of all the DBs we brought in, Fred Perry's a guy that a lot of people thought has a lot of expectations for. So not a shock. And that's all I've got for you guys for now. I've got a couple other names, but if one person says something, I don't want to jump to major conclusions about it. So let's go back to Devin Grant for a second, though. Wrong one. So Devin Grant is a guy that, I'll be honest, I didn't realize he was this big right now. I mean, he's probably 250 pounds right here, isn't he? At least he's 6'3". I do know that. I know. Adam Tomchek here is 6'4". Eddie V 6'2", 6'3". I mean, these are all big boys. I have no clue who this is right here. He looks familiar too, but I just can't remember. But anyways, for those who listen on podcasts, I'm looking at pictures. So this is Devin Grant, though. We know all about him. And a dude that is an absolute monster. Like here he is. We obviously know he came in from Incarnate Word, but I've showed this before. Like there's footage of him here. Like this is all practice footage of him at Colorado, absolutely eating dudes alive. So if you want to see what Devin Grant can do against Power 4 competition, here you go. And he is a strong dude, but man, he's off the edge as a great athlete. That's one of the things I like about him, really, more than anything else. He's just a really good athlete. So I think Devin Grant's going to make an impact for us this year. He's going to be, can you imagine he and Jamoy Robinson coming off the edge? I mean, we've got some pass rushers now. So that's exciting to see. These angles aren't exactly the greatest. So let's see. Trying to get some good angles on here, but not exactly seeing any yet. Here's one. Nice job there. This dude is just a ball player, though, man. I mean, he is. He's just one of those guys that, and I mean, you can see he's playing pure defensive end here, and you see the get off. There's a great angle for him. Finally, you see the explosion, the get off. I mean, here he is right here. Watch how quickly he's out of his stance. Bang! And then just that quick, he's around the guard. So I really like Devin Grant a lot. And this, like I said, this is against Power 4 competition, man. So you'll take it. Colorado. Now, this isn't the Colorado team that played last year that was really good. But, I mean, I don't know. Their offensive line wasn't exactly world killers, no matter when. Here he is again. There's another picture of him. Yeah, he's a big hoss cat, man. I mean, look at this guy, So he's working hard. I know that. If you see some more recent highlights of Devin Grant, we'll show these really quick while we got a second. This is last year at Incarnate Word, where I think he had double-digit sacks there. He's going to make an impact for us, though, as you can see here. I mean, off the edge, he screams off the edge. He's got a lot of athletic ability. Boom, he's gone off the edge. Yep, we'll take that for sure. Absolutely no chance. The Villanova offensive lineman had no shot at left tackle there. Oh, look at that. That's a pretty move there. So he's got a ton of different moves, and look at that. I mean, if you're just going to if it's a straight speed rush, I mean, he's got that, right, as a speed rusher. I mean, watch him come off right here. He's off and gone and popping. So I really do think, man, he and Jamori Robinson on it. I mean, that's an incredible move right there. Look at this little sidestep hop he does. Oh, God, that's so nasty. Oh, gosh, I love that. I don't know what this guy was getting ready to try to do. Looks like he was trying to position himself with his back towards the guard, the offensive lineman, and he just juked around it. Very, very nice play, man. He made that play. He beat two blockers on that play. So, I love Devin Grant, man. I get more excited the more I see him. Whenever he first committed, I think, I did the same thing a lot of people do is, it was Incarnate Word. Like, we'll kind of roll your eyes just a little. That was dumb. Shouldn't have done that. So, God, I mean, look at that explosion. That's extremely impressive. I mean, this kid can get after it, man. He can really run. Let's just play this over and over. Oh, gosh. All right, so I appreciate you guys for being here. Devin Grant, man, a name. I saved him for last because, I'm putting two and two together. Like this, you see how big he is. He's every bit at 240, 250 right now, based on what he looks like at West Virginia. And look at the athlete he is. That's a scary combination. Him and Jamori Robinson both coming off the edge. Hey, man, I really do believe that people are sleeping on our pass rush this year. I know they are. So, because I think just by proxy, just because we have a pass rush this year, I'm predicting us to have. I think our defensive backfield is going to be worlds better because of the pass rush. Everybody knows one affects the other, right? If you've got great DBs, you're going to get coverage sacks. If you've got great pass rushers, you're going to get interceptions and fumbles and fumble recoveries, but also your DBs don't get thrown at very often. So, one works on the other's favor. And any year you got bad defensive backs, you want to have good pass rushers. And when you have bad pass rushers, you want to have good defensive backs. And definitely not both, unless they're good. All right, guys. I appreciate you for coming on and all that stuff. I'm sorry it took me so long to get here tonight. I just needed some time off today. So, yeah, that 20.5 includes all sports. For those asking in the chat there, that is 20.5 million for all sports. Most people think it's going to be broken down right around 15.5 for football, right around 3 or 4, or I'm sorry, right around 14, I think, for football, right around 3 to 4 for basketball, and then everybody else gets the scraps. It's not a great model, but the thing is, the best teams are going to make it happen. Can you imagine how good some of these basketball teams are going to be? What about these teams that are only basketball? Like, have you thought about that? Like, how good's a Creighton going to be, or a St. John's that can afford the entire $20 million? I don't even know. Like, I don't think that's been talked about. Actually, that just dawned on me. That'd be a great idea for a video. But if you really wanted to, let's say you got a really good team coming back in football one year. Could you scrape off an extra 2 or 3 million to the basketball team one year and try to maybe get a little bit of advantage? I don't know. But the teams that don't have football, aren't they going to have a competitive advantage in some ways because of the NIL? Insane. Curious to know what everybody else thinks about that. Because, like I said, the teams that don't have football, they can give $15 million to basketball. Like, we can't keep up with that. I don't think they've thought this all the way through yet. There are going to be some teams out there that win this. If that's how it ends up being now, maybe there's some things I don't know about. Maybe NIL can play a factor in basketball and it doesn't count towards the cap or whatever. And by the way, I don't know why it would, unless it's just a $20.5 million cap and that's all they can get or whatever. But, if teams with no football, because there's really no teams without basketball that have football. Like, on the football side, both exist. Now, some teams care more about basketball than others, like Kansas. They've got football now; they care about it, but they would take basketball. Indiana, same thing. At West Virginia, we're taking football. So, is our basketball team going to suffer? And because on the other flip side of this, though, like I was just saying, though, it exists that football teams also have basketball teams, most schools, 99.9%. There are a ton of schools that are just basketball, no football. So are those teams going to be the teams that beat everybody now? Yeah, like Duke and UConn, but they have football, and football is probably still going to get more money, or at least split down the middle. At the least, I would say football is still probably going to get the most money, and even in those little basketball schools. But like, if you're talking about St. John's, if you're talking about Creighton, if you're talking about Wichita State, teams like that don't have football to worry about, how are they going to do? I mean, are they going to just run the sport now? I really don't know if people thought that through yet. And I don't know if it's something that's already been talked about that's just dawning on me. Like, it could be a conversation that's already been had and I wouldn't know, but I would offer that up to you. How do you feel about it? Like the stream, guys. I got some awesome news today, by the way. Game Changers got a hold of me. I don't know what we have planned for each other yet, but Nico Marchiol and Tim Tebow spoke at an event not long ago, and we're going to work together in some capacity for addiction. They may sponsor some things I'm doing. I'm not sure. We haven't talked about it yet all the way. So that'll be fun. I support them 100%, no matter what. So that's going to be really fun, guys. We'll see what happens. Until then, let's roll. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen, and for being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network. When we talk about your team, the Mountaineers, every single day. And make the Portal Report your last listen of the day. Ryan Smith, he does a great job over there. Some would say the best, keeping you up to date on the landscape changes of college football. Make sure you check it out. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you then.